Hello, hello, everyone. We are so pumped to introduce you to a project that we have been working on. And I want to attempt to do my own drum roll. I don't know if that's appropriate, but I'm going to do it because some amazing people behind the scenes at LaunchBreak have been working on LaunchBreak, the podcast, where we can talk all things sports, all things that we're passionate about. I'm Zora Stephenson. I'm your host. I joke and say that I'm a has-been hooper, but we all know being an athlete, right, is a lifetime thing. And my jump shot, it may need work, but the lessons, the experiences, and the relationships, they stay with you forever. So we're going to think about that premise and that perspectives as we listen to our guests and learn from them. And that's what this series is all about. It's hearing from highly successful women who have athletic backgrounds just like you and me, and it's opportunity to listen and learn, and hopefully you leave empowered. I know I'm going to be taking some gems, and you should too. If you haven't heard of LaunchBreak yet, let me tell you a little bit more. LaunchBreak is a global professional network for women athletes connecting current and former college, pro, national, Olympic, Paralympic competitors. Throughout the season, we'll hear their stories and how they grew to be who they are today. If you like what you hear, be sure to follow us at The LaunchBreak on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Our podcast is brought to you by 5 Wins. LaunchBreak is proud to have them on board.
I used to get frustrated trying to find women's sports coverage, and then I found 5 Wins. 5 Wins offers truly original content and real community. Real stories from athletes, smart takes on the games, bracket challenges, and even live events with other fans. Whether you're watching from the couch, in the stands, or still playing yourself, 5 Wins is where the women's sports community hangs out. Check it out at 5wins.com. That's the number 5, wins.com. Okay. Let's get right into it. Stephanie LeBlanc-Godfrey is our guest today. Stephanie, I'm going to run down all the things. Don't hold your breath because you have a long, accomplished resume. Trained engineer, tech leader, founder of a company who brings a rare perspective shaped by engineering rigor, real-world leadership, and life as a mom of 3. I'm going to try to make this interview not too personal because I'm a new mom of 2, and I like, somebody needs to write a book on like how we do this. Stephanie spent over a decade at Google working to solve complex problems at the scale and intersection of technology and everyday life. And now she's also the CEO and founder of Mother AI. This is what I really want to get into, your company. Stephanie helps high-achieving women and working families make sense of AI in practical human ways, supporting how we work, how our children learn, and how families navigate a rapidly changing digital world. Her work also explores the broader impact of AI on family life and childhood, and she's focused on ensuring women and families aren't just reacting to the future of AI, but actively reshaping it. Stephanie, thank you for taking some time out to chat with us. As I mentioned off the top, you have an extensive resume, but no one tells your story better than you do. What's your like elevator pitch on all that you've accomplished as a human so far?
Wow, that's a lot to put in such a short amount of time. But first, thank you so much for the invitation to be on this podcast. You know, when I first found out about LaunchBreak and was introduced to it, I was like, wait, I did play sports literally all through college. And I didn't think of myself now in my adulthood as an athlete, but to the point about your introduction, yes, I am an athlete. So I fenced in college. And so that was a sport that I absolutely love and enjoy kind of watching it in the Olympics. But more importantly, all the lessons that I learned, I would do a disjustice to my story if I didn't mention the fact that I fence, because it is part of my story of who I am. So the quick and dirty of it, I am a born and raised New Yorker, went to engineering school. So I have my degree in electrical engineering, was in the finance world, digital media, all of these cool places and spaces. And I felt so alone. As a woman, as a Black woman in tech, in finance, it was a super lonely experience for a long time. And it made me want to ensure that when I got control, when I took on leadership positions, that I'd be able to look back and lift up as I climb to ensure that other women who are in spaces where we are often the one or only didn't feel so alone and isolated. And so I spent probably the last 6 years of my career at Google, of which I spent over a decade total, was focused on retaining and pouring into women and parents and caregivers. So I started the first and largest employee resource group at Google for parents and caregivers because we've been largely ignored for so long. And so now in my current role, all of that translates into what I do now, where AI is everywhere, inundating media headlines, potential job scarcity, the impact on humans, the impact on our kids. And again, women are not centered on this when we look at all of the names and faces of who's really leading the charge. And so I took that as an opportunity of changing what the AI landscape is and then lifting as I climb to ensure women are aware, are super users of it, and have a voice in the shape of this technology that is pervasively in every part of our life, or at least will be.
There's so much there, and the Google part of your story, I feel like, has so many questions that need answers. But let's start with top of mind for so many of us right now, which is AI, right? What role, and specifically for mothers, what role should it play in our lives, and how does your company help service that?
Absolutely. So, AI is twofold. There are so many benefits, and I teach them through my courses and workshops about how parents, moms, caregivers, anyone with a duty of care for another human being can utilize AI in their personal parenting or professional life in order to alleviate the mental load, to use it as a thought partner, to find information and curate and tailor things for your particular personal or professional dynamic. The opportunities there for AI are incredible. And oftentimes we're so inundated. There's Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot. It's so confusing. Where do you start? What do you do? How do you talk to it? Right? And it could feel so overwhelming. And so I want to cut out all of the hype, the confusion, and give people relatable and digestible ways that they can use it in their life, again, both at work and at home. And then the second part is our kids, the future. Children are the future, right? They are using it in their daily lives already, whether it's for homework, whether it's for social use cases. And we have to really understand that in a new technology, there's a lot of information that we don't know, and how this will impact our kids emotionally. Their mental health is really important. And while corporations and governments are figuring out what that means, it means that us, the adults in the room with the kids, need to understand it enough so that we can create our own guardrails of how we want our kids to use it.
Let's give our listeners and viewers a sneak peek because we want them to look into the services, but I just want a little bit of a tease of like, what's an example of how I can incorporate it? Is it more educational so that I understand the technology, or is there like something tangible, like it can come up with a schedule for my 9-month-old twins? Like, what is an example of a way where we could all use it?
So it's all the tangible things. So one, you went from 0 to 2. So congratulations on that when you said 2 kids at the same time. So
Yeah,
I've got some books for you there.
I appreciate that.
But the focus is on the tangible. Who cares about the technology? And I say that a bit flippantly, but like we use email every day and no one's talking about TCP and IP protocols, right? Like we just send the emails. The same way is how I want to introduce AI. Don't worry about all the acronyms and the craziness. What are the ways that it can bring levity to all of the thought bubbles, all of the tabs that we have open? So for me in this moment, I have three kids, elementary, middle, and high school age kids. So I am in the thick of it. And it being homework. And so I use it for homework every single day. My kids will come ask me a question, and I will open up a chatbot and say, hey, answer this question from a sixth grade level. My kids will send me their study sheets. I will upload it and say, hey, give me, three versions of this quiz so that they can get more information to study. Kids don't do math the way that we used to do math. Carrying the one is not a terminology that they use these days. And so it helps to translate what they're learning in the classroom to the knowledge that I have, and reinforce the way in which they're learning, minus all the tears. And minus the pushback of that's not how my teacher said it. And so that in itself, because of the stage that I'm in, if I didn't use AI for anything else, that would brings me so much peace of mind to be able to help them and then be an active part of their learning journey. And then for you, for the babies, I joke with my husband, I was like, if we had a baby now, we can corner the market because then I'd have kids in every. That is just a joke. We are happy as a family of five. But for babies, when we think, especially just using you as an example for 9 months old, there's so much information out there around sleep schedules and introducing food and where they should be at behaviorally, all of these things. And so you can find websites that kind of reflect different values or thoughts. But what AI does is it can aggregate all of that information by you sharing it. So you can say, hey, my 9 month old, I think I want to introduce soft foods, but these are the things that I have available to me, or these are the values that I have. This is what I'm thinking. This is the stage or examples or behaviors that they're exhibiting now. Give me information on what this could look like for tummy time activities, or a food schedule that you want, or an activity schedule that I can give my nanny or my mom or whoever the caregiver is. And so now you're not getting these like isolated pieces of information to kind of come up with a plan. If you give it your entire family dynamic, it can then bring together or aggregate all of those pieces into something that is specific and curated to you. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. My follow-up is, how do we know it's accurate? Right now, especially in our
Yes.
world right now, how do I know what is fact and what is just someone's opinion that day?
Yes, that's super important. So, what you're talking about is hallucinations. And so the thing is, AI, the way in which it is developed is to give you a possible probable answer based off of all the information off the internet that it has scraped. That includes Reddit. So you are absolutely right to question what information that they're giving. So there are a couple of things. First is when I ask it for super tailored advice that kind of teeters on the health piece, I ask it to cite the information. So if you use something like Perplexity, Perplexity automatically cites every single line within its answer. And so you can hover over it and then it will link to the website that it's pulling that information from. So that it can allow you to either read more or just be like, oh, okay, this is coming from parents.com. All right, that feels good and aligns with me. So there are AI tools that really have built in that trust but verify mindset and a really tactical way so that you can be sure that you agree with the information. Then when it comes to really serious like health things, you don't want to diagnose yourself using AI, same way you don't want to diagnose yourself using Google, the pictures,
Right.
the the websites.
Rather
Like,
than MD,
exactly. But what you can do is use it to then inform the conversations that you have with your health providers.
Mhm.
Hey, this is, the results that I got back. What are the 5 questions that I should be asking my doctor when I talk to them next? Hey,
Mm.
these are the things that I'm feeling. What type of healthcare provider should I be reaching out to? Those are the ways that you should be using it to inform and kind of bolster and make sure that you're informed, but not in a way that you're like, oh, it says I have, disease X. Let me go and self medicate. That's a no no.
Right. No, the key here and what I garnered from your expertise is you have the how. You have the keys on how to execute and how to take advantage of this great new technology. But with anything, right? Like when cable came out, we had to know how to use it. When, the internet came out, we had to know how to use it. And now this is the same thing. Let's take a big
This doesn't take us off the hook for having critical thinking and for
right.
using our own judgment. As much as like all of these movies and things are like, yeah, robots are coming, a human is still what they call in the loop. We still need humans in the room, and we are the final, um, using our judgment, we are the final decision makers. And so we need to act as such even when we're using AI and we think or feel like, because that's what it's designed to do, make us feel like it's understanding us and solving all of our problems. It is not human. And so we are the most important piece of this AI puzzle.
I often use the word and in my life, and this is an and situation.
Yeah,
AI
for
is
sure.
a great tool to help us navigate various parts of our lives, and
And
we still need the human element. And as you put it, being in the loop is key. I,
absolutely.
I want to prompt you with one last question. In addition to using and, I have a lot of sayings in my life, and another one is keep it going. And you are someone who was in corporate and now has taken the jump to be your own boss, which is an achievement in itself, and catering it to an audience of women and moms who need to figure out how to handle it all. What keeps you going though, every single day and staying at it?
Yeah, so I have my corporate career was 23 years. And so that's all I knew for quite some time. I had dabbled in entrepreneurship before, but it wasn't something I was very happy kind of climbing the ladder and, working for the name brand companies and like going through all of that. And what I realized in those spaces is that you know, there's success there, but the reward that you get back isn't always, most of the time, isn't commensurate with the amount of energy and time that you put into it. And so after years of all-nighters, crazy travel schedules, doing the most for my company, which I enjoyed, I was like, imagine if I put that amount of energy into me, what that could net for myself. And so that was the start, the seed that was planted in my brain probably around 3 years ago of like, what could this look to be outside of these walls? And so I did the work. I spent 2.5 years figuring out what it is that I wanted because Mother AI started as a LinkedIn newsletter. It was not the plan for me to, leave, the golden handcuffs of an amazing company doing incredibly impactful work to go into the unknown when I've got 3 kids who love passport stamps. So it was not a flippant like I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I spent 2 years figuring out, how much I wanted to make, what it looked like, what I needed to do, and it was a forcing function for me to get my estate plan together, to finally get the financial planner, to do all these adult things that I had been putting off so that I can walk into the next chapter of my life feeling good and calm and in control versus feeling desperate and worried about how we were going to kind of maintain our life. And so I did that by hiring an executive coach, by joining a mastermind. So in those moments when I wanted to just jump out the window and be like, I'm done, I'm leaving, that they were like, nope, you have a plan. And you said what the pieces of the plan are. And so it held me accountable to really setting myself up to walk out with my head held high and feeling so whole and complete with the job that I had done. And it doesn't always work out that way, right? We're in this space where layoffs are happening and it's coming fast, furious, and you don't know. But knowing that this is the environment that we're in, I highly recommend that every woman who's listening to this right now start thinking about what's next, start exploring, start being curious, so that you're that many steps ahead whenever the moment comes up that you need to make that pivot.
Stephanie, your expertise is so wise and so needed for so many of us, and we appreciate your time. This has been so good and so needed. Mother AI, but then also every grand plan and every dream needs a strategy. And to me, your story is one of preparation meeting opportunity and you investing in yourself and getting it back twofold. If you liked what you heard from Stephanie, you can follow her at mother_A_I. And if this felt like it spoke to you, we have so much more. And if you feel like you need support as a former athlete, a current athlete looking to engage in their next chapter, please get in touch with us at LaunchBreak.com. We've got more coming. Like, follow, drop your comments, engage with us. See you next time. Thanks so much. Thank you, Stephanie. Did you know that your hair care could actually be contributing to skin issues? That's exactly why Harvard-trained dermatologist Dr. Aris Rubin created Scene. Scene hair care is formulated specifically for sensitive, acne-prone, and eczema-prone skin without sacrificing performance. These are salon-quality shampoos, conditioners, and styling products that work for all hair types and textures, from fragrance-free formulas approved by the National Eczema Foundation to gentle scented options. Scene has truly become a go-to hair care brand. You can find Scene at Ulta Beauty or use promo code LaunchBreak20 to receive 20% off your order today at helloscene.com.